Okay. Hello. Test. Testing. 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 1, 2. Just one moment. I just need to check something here. Okay. Let's try this now. Alright, I'm just trying to see if the microphone's picking up my voice properly. What's going on here? Okay, it sounds like everything's up and running. Not sure what was going on at the start. Now, welcome everyone. I'm Dollar-Free. And I keep having to try and work on my microphone settings. It's kind of, admittedly, it's one of those things I would like to do and just have it stick. But I think it's more an OBS thing that I keep adjusting things. Anyway, let's dive into chapter 4. So, last time we kind of had our entire investigation derailed by force, actually.
Ready to head out?
We've got like one lead left, which is
Here we are.
Wait a minute.
The COS-IO Corp.
Hold on. Game.
Ready to head out?
Game, what was that? I was thinking to myself, hold on, haven't we done this? Yeah. Now we're actually on the correct pathway. We have one way to go, which is the Flower Mansion. Something wrong? Hey, we're here. Can you focus, Turing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wool gathering.
Wool gathering?
I see we've arrived at the Melody Flores residence. It's quite impressive. But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group, despite retiring from day-to-day operations at the company. I wonder how she and Hayden first began working together. Sorry, back on task. Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside?
Let's see. Give me a rundown of Flower Cybernetics. What can you tell me about Melody? Did Yannick say he and Melody had a falling out? Let's go inside. Let's go ahead and head in. Give me a quick rundown of Flower Cybernetics.
Flower Cybernetics was established in the early 2000s by Melody's mother, Antonella. It started out developing cutting-edge medical tech, including advanced prosthesis and nanoparticle diagnostic and treatment technologies. They were vastly successful when they perfected the first synthetic nerve mesh, allowing direct connection and control between the nervous system and a cybernetic prosthesis. The majority of their early projects were defense technologies for the American military.
Just touching on that point, yeah. Somehow unsurprising, developments for military technology always seem to be one of the bigger drivers for things like medical equipment specifically. Well, it's somehow unsurprising, I should say that. It's unsurprising that in this setting, developments of medical equipment for the military would be a driving force. In this case, cybernetics.
Developing ruggedized military prosthesis for use on injured soldiers, and then eventually electively for special forces. This research line culminated in the development of brain-controlled androids as shock troops, long since barred by international law.
Brain-controlled androids as shock troops. Probably to have a guess, it could be one soldier for one android, or one soldier, or at worst controlling multiple androids. Being barred by international law, maybe it's related to the idea of androids looking humanoid, or, well, I wouldn't say so much the removal of culpability. We have that in current military battlefields with the use of drones, both manned and unmanned. So it could be more about the shape of an android as something humanoid.
Melody took over the company from her aging mother, and she fought against developing further military hardware from that point on. She pushed the company to use the BCA technology for the company's original goals of medical advancement, as well as developing the first direct link virtual reality implants. The company is largely successful on a global scale, despite continued legislative movement against extensive cybernetic use, especially brain implants.
Yeah, no, you could see cybernetic use as getting some legislative pushback. Brain implant sounds messy. Oh. If you just want to get an idea about how messy brain implant stuff can be, go look at the horror stories of, what is it, like Neuralink? Yeah, that's not fun at all. What can you tell me about Melody?
Not a whole lot. She's largely private, in contrast to her mother's penchant for courting a media circus. Several biographies of former Flower executives show her as intensely passionate about demilitarizing the company to the point of absolute viciousness in the boardroom. But it's been a long time since her days of fighting for the company, and she's since stepped away from the helm. There's talk that she's lost her spine in her old age, but... well, I'd take that with a grain of salt. She may have retreated from the corporate battlefield, but you don't change the entire direction of a company as large as Flower if you're a quitter. Stay on your toes.
Okay. So, reclusive, but probably still has enough bargaining power to outmaneuver us in this whole conversation. Now, didn't Yannick say he and Melody had a falling out?
He did, and I can't shine much light on that. I know that System 1 worked with Flower to help develop the first operating systems for the direct link virtual reality implants, so perhaps it happened during that time. Also, Flower eventually went with a different company for future models of the implant, but there was never any public talk of a personal falling out between the heads of the companies. I'll scrape the mesh for more rumors, but they'll only be that, rumors. I can do my best to parse fact from fiction, but it blurs too much for me to be sure what's real.
Alright, let's go ahead and head
No
in.
time like the present then.
Interesting how there's been no music so far. Anyway, let's have a look at these things.
These tall shrubs could line the estate of a Victorian duke. They're that stuffily pleasant to look at. These evergreens are perfectly sculpted. Be careful not to wreck the mold if you touch.
Okay. That's right. We used our milk, yes, last stream. Oh, the poor thing. Plant takes the bolts like a champ, resolute and green in the face of the pistol's rage. Speaking of items, what do we have? We've only got regular milk. Headphones. Yeah, the pistol, brochure, and the umbrella. Windows line the front of the house and broadcast hints of an expertly designed den inside. The anguished cry of the window cleaner bellows in your soul as you smudge one of the panes. Headphones. The windows try their best to produce deep, meaningful lyrics, but the effort is transparent. That one's pretty good. I'll give it that one. That one's pretty good. A small, poorly photographed version of your face is now directly displayed against the mansion window. Oddly enough, this unlocks no secret entrances, awards no points, and just makes Turing look at you kind of funny. Just noticed I can go down. A bear statue. Small-scale bear statues guard the entrance to the mansion. You can't take it. Not marble, nor the gilded monuments. Hey baby, what's your sign? Oh. Oh, damn. That one made me groan. Okay. Headphone. The statue's head is too big to fit them on. No sweet jams for this bear. An umbrella. Alas, there is no rain for the statue to shield itself from, or sing in. I have the stale beauty that can only come from the care of obligated profession.
Don't treat the junipers like arbor vitae.
Arbor vitae? I'll admit I don't know that term. Some of the leaves do quiver on repeat zaps, but as a whole this plant presents a noble front. That's the door, that's the doorbell. Then we have another couple of plants, a window, and another statue. It's likely they have ridiculous maintenance routines as well, like only being watered every Friday for exactly 38 seconds. No more, no less.
Don't you know the difference between a shrub and a bush?
Probably isn't worth the risk of Turing exploding. I mean, I'll be honest. I think a shrub's the one that you sort of trim, but anyway. Oh yep, we've seen this one. It's framed with light blue curtains that probably cost more than your rent. Each. Oof. That fingerprint could become incriminating if this strip goes dark. Oh well. It feels rather melancholy listening to a window use music to display its... Oh my gosh, they just... Okay, this one's definitely taken the cake so far on the... Thanks, Dad. Thanks. What do you expect? The window to open?
They'd look cuter if they had little outfits on. Don't destroy the Ursine aesthetic.
The silence is unbearable. Yeah, no, you could have seen that one coming. The handle won't fit in any of the statue's big old paws. Besides, it needs some sunglasses if it's going to commit to that look.
These tall shrubs could line the estate of a Victorian duke. They're that stuffily pleasant to look at.
Okay.
These evergreens are perfectly sculpted. Be careful not to...
Heard that one. And then, yeah, no, we've seen that one already. 2 dark wooden doors make up the mansion's entranceway. Small foyer can be seen through the mottled glass.
Maybe we should ring the bell first?
Yeah, I mean, there's a doorbell there. We know that one. The Organizational Outreach Act of 2043 forbade anyone from presenting pamphlets from groups they weren't affiliated with in private doorways. Interesting. A little bit of law there. Could have been related to people presenting themselves as being from organizations they're not, or if it's related to, because it specifies private doorways, maybe you're allowed to do so in public? Alright, doorbell. This looks like the buzzer for an apartment complex. Needs one of these just for one house? You can't use the speaker without ringing the bell. Yeah, fair enough. Oh. Hello there. Hi. Is Melody home? Is that a bear, Turing? I don't even want to know. Let's go straight forward. Melody home.
Your guess is as good as mine. Mine says we can go in. Should we?
I think we might as well head in. I mean, the door's open.
Oh, wow! Swanky!
Swanky? Pay attention, Turing.
What?
Really though, swanky.
I have been trying to increase my usage of colloquialisms. Is swanky too out of date?
Maybe, yeah.
It's certainly before my time.
Yeah.
Oh, Ms. Flores! Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing, and
Oh, I know who you are.
I can explain. I know you don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation.
Fairlight? I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case. Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything that raises his profile on the mesh.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm as confused as the bear. I mean, really? I don't think we're that tasty.
What?
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Actually, madam, I'm not comprised of gears.
Well, either way, he's on a diet. This philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you. Do you understand?
Not really.
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden. You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him, either.
We already know what happened to Hayden.
Right.
But we've got time to look around this place. A gardening rock. A Malcolm model Rom is tending to the garden. A large climate-controlled globe towers in the lounge and has some lively in-season plants inside. The planter box looks impossible to open, but rubbing the outside does produce a nice, squeaky, plastic-on-furniture sound. Oh, that one's always fun. What can we use? The headphones? The plants are listening to an ambient trance playlist on a platform called Rooty. Plants are shocked. Not in an actually electrified way. Just surprised he would pull something like that on them. So that's Melody. Got a teapot, cat, strawberries, a chair, a door. Oh, a fountain. What we'll do is we'll work upwards to downwards from here. Fountain. A huge marble fountain adorns the courtyard. Its pleasant bubbling sound can just barely be heard over the TV and outdoor ambience. You have no coins to throw in. No wishes for you.
Most of the human revolution's arguments don't hold water.
That's fair. That's entirely fair. The door. A pair of wide window doors are set open in the back of the room, leading to a plush garden. Can one truly use an open door? The doors look open to conversation. Alright, next, the chair. A plush, purple fainting chair dominates the room. This chair keeps a strict 1-to-1 human-animal ratio. This chair is for recovering from social exhaustion. Conversation chairs are in the tea room. Oh, that one's clever. I like that. Painting chairs like this, just briefly to talk on this. These are the sorts of things you might have seen. We're talking like old sort of... I don't even know if it's Victorian-esque or sort of after Victorian era style. The reason I'm thinking about the chair is the psychoanalytics chairs that you might see in movies that use psychologists, particularly American psychology, and then the older movies as well. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, but the titles aren't coming to me. Imagine like the big black chair someone can just lie down on, and they'll lie down on the chair, and the psychologist sits down with a pen and a pad, goes, "Tell me your thoughts and feelings," and you're like, right. That's what I was thinking of with the chair specifically. Oh, we can't even put the milk on because we don't have milk. While a stun gun would certainly cause fainting and thus make the chair useful, it would just singe the upholstery if fired directly on the chair. No. You want to network with the people on the expensive chairs, not with the furniture itself. The cat. The most regal-looking robotic cat in the world sits prim and proper on the fainting chair. You give the cat a pet. The name on her collar says Lily. Hey, cool. It looks remarkably bored at all the attempts at conversation. It already knows who you are and it is unimpressed. There we are, the teapot. A thin string of steam escapes the delicate spout. The handling of the teapot is strictly the domain of the host's servants, at least in homes of this class. The teapot itself is busy, but the computerized pot holder takes note of your requested temperature change. This umbrella is not small enough, nor this drink fruity enough to merit the insertion of an umbrella. Tea time is no time for the boasting of one's identity. Such assertion such assertions are reserved for the upper supper, brandy and cigars in the library. The tea is already being kept at ideal serving temperatures, thanks to its automated pot holder. Strawberries. The biggest strawberries you have ever seen are assembled in a china bowl on the coffee table. They look too good to eat. That might be the point. These strawberries have been modified to resist electrocution, protect growth in the face of storms. Oh. Okay. I mean, I know there's a bit of a hullabaloo at the moment about genetically modified foods, but genetically modified to resist electrocution is something that you would really not expect. If ever there was a case to be made for pure naturalism, this bowl of modified strawberries would be it. Alright, it's Pat.
Melody keeps unusual company. Ursus maritimus, if I'm not mistaken. That might be why the temperature controls are set so low in here.
Alright, so it's a bit cold. Yeah, definitely a polar bear.
I wasn't aware you knew the scientific name of the species. Ooh, has my interest in proper nomenclature started to rub off on you?
He's a white bear, Turing. What else could he be?
Plenty. Have you heard of a Kermode bear, also known as a spirit bear? Or he could be a white-phased black bear, or even a pizzly. But he's not. It's a polar bear.
Alright. Pat is Melody's butler, not yours. He will offer service when and only when his mistress permits. A girl and stuff? Headphones. Whoa, that little helmet he wears is constantly translating the TV into growls and grunts in his ears so he can understand. Did Pat just snicker at your DMV photo? Hard to tell with his butler politeness. Yep, don't point the stun gun at the bear. Don't be fooled by the veneer of courtesy. Pat is a bear with brain implants and probably knows exactly what this is. Guessing he wouldn't appreciate this propaganda. The room control. A room control monitor is fixed onto the back wall of the room. The temperature is set so low, it's freezing. Only Madame Flores and a team of techno-archaeologists could figure out how to make this fossil run. It's old, but it's not in need of a defibrillator. It is so old it might even agree with you and reminisce on the good old days when computers and humankind were separate but functional. Oh, there's a little ROM down here. An R051E-893 unit in the emblem on its side. It sits patiently near Pat in a sort of ambient sleep mode, playing light instrumental music. Like the high-stakes socialite relationships it monitors, the R051E is extremely delicate. R051E units are designed to remain in sleep mode until reactivated only by its owner's voice. The background program researches your entire family's history. It now knows more about where you came from than you ever had. An umbrella. By design, this ROM is strictly for indoor use. And then, the monitor. The latest episode of Media Blitz is going into the sordid details of a new teen actor's island love affair with a local politician's daughter.
Media Blitz disabled touch interactivity on their show after the appearance of their new host, a former swimming champion, led to thousands of screens being fondled into disrepair.
Oh. Ew. Oh god. Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's probably oh, ew. all direct feed viewer requests have been calculated for this episode of Media Blitz already. So you can talk to the screen while the show is on and suggest things probably for the episode if you wanted to. The last time Media Blitz hosted a celebrity that supported the human revolution, the amount of angry messages from both sides that the studio received caused a network-wide ban on the issue. Okay, fair enough. I guess we're just going to talk to Melody. Melody Flores, nanomachine heiress and the owner of Flower Cybernetics. Offering pure human propaganda to one of the longest-lived voices in cybernetics is not just foolhardy in terms of your career. Madame Flores will literally pay off your friends and family to disown you.
That's nice, dear.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think something as banal as rainfall is ever a concern for someone like me?
Hey? Try again when you have a trust fund or hold a majority of a Fortune 500 company. Yeah, no, fair enough.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
I have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Please, Melody, any information you might have.
Well, considering we already know Hayden's fate,
We haven't had access to any of his research notes and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with. Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Parallax is known for that, of course. We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched. He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people. When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
fair enough.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup. Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt?
Okay.
We'll go with that. I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
I'm touched, Melody.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
How did you help Hayden with Turing? What's the story between you and Fairlight? I think that's everything we need to know.
Indeed, I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapiens. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth. Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
Oh, hey, that's a lot more dangerous than machine sapiens. That's definitely a lot more dangerous.
You can see why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades. Functional immortality is a powerful lure. The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct. Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction. Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I can see that happening. Like, let's be honest, with all of the research that goes on into the functions of the brain, we know next to nothing about the actual functioning of the brain. You might go, well, we understand what some things do. It's like we think we understand what some things do. We study what we can observe. Oh, are you thinking about this particular thing, like trying to solve a puzzle? We are seeing increased electrical activity in this section of the brain. Are you focusing on reading? We're seeing increased electrical activity in here. But in terms of actually definitively stating anything about the brain, not at this stage, no. Except for the fact that it's very important and you kind of need one. Things that are a little bit more clear as well are things that we've been able to observe through historical scientific data and research. Things like, oh, this person has suffered a brain injury, and the brain injury is in this part of the brain, and now their personality is different.
Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do. And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Interesting. Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped. You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
Can you elaborate on your involvement? Hayden wasn't involved in Turing's development, or invested in Turing's development? And I'd like to ask something else.
Phew, if you can even call it involvement. It's a small city, And if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else. When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implants. Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here. I couldn't care less about Flowers' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do. I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
Don't worry.
Yeah, we can't.
I won't.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear.
Yeah, next one.
I didn't say that. Hayden was quite interested in Turing, even if he is just a step to further research. In fact, he was preparing to publish his findings involving Turing, and I know it's going to make one heck of a splash in the scientific community. See, the most impressive part about you, Turing, is that you're surprisingly stock.
I assure you, Melody, my construction involves only the latest and greatest in ROM prototype technology.
Exactly. You're not off the shelf, but you're still just a souped-up ROM, more or less like every other one out there. Your personality algorithms are impressive, but they don't require some new space-age technology to work. Hayden is going to propose that human consciousness transference does not require special brain-like hardware architecture, but merely the right software wrapper to interface with the hardware. Much like how you function.
I suppose that is correct.
Interesting that Turing is mostly from existing tech, but then just the AI programs are doing the heavy lifting.
Still, my personality matrices do take up substantial amounts of my processing power. Wouldn't custom hardware have capabilities that better serve such a demanding specialized task?
Sure, there's still plenty of reason in trying to make a computer that works just like a human brain. Efficiency is an important part of that. But if Hayden can emulate the human mind in existing technology, it means we can start the immortality now, rather than waiting for hardware to catch up with Hayden's software. Frankly, I'm not terribly interested in living forever. But there's more than enough people who are.
Yeah, a lot of people say they aren't interested in immortality. And a lot of them I'd be doubting. On the one hand, living forever would absolutely suck. On the other hand, living forever could be quite nice. It really depends on the starting position of your life before you find yourself immortal. If you're immortal, but then you're a wage slave, like the most of us, congrats, you will be working 9 to 5, or possibly longer, every day, or every week, for the rest of your life. Your immortal life. Thanks, inflation.
Thank you for this, Melody. I understand so little of my origins.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know more of the specifics. Hayden kept me up to date on his progress, but only in the vaguest of ways. If you can hunt down his notes, I'm sure they'll tell you more.
Of course. We'll keep looking. Now, perhaps we could ask some other questions?
Sure.
Alright. What's the story between you and Fairlight?
Oh, hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years. I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct link VR neural implants to System 1. Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me, literally. I turned him down, very politely, I might add, and then, suddenly all of the cooperation between our companies dried up. We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you.
Ooh. Okay, this might be a little awkward, because I do remember when we were trying to track down those teenagers back in like chapter 2, we asked to send a message to Fairlight. I don't know why I did that, but I thought, give it a shot, see what happens.
He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still, I suppose if he tried again now, I might not turn him down. It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his.
I think that's everything we need to know.
Good. I can get back to my retirement.
Thank you for your time, Melody. We'll be in touch later.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd like it. I've got
Okay.
the contact info for a Vincent Mensa, who I think might be of help to you. Vincent was working more closely with Hayden inside Parallax, mostly on his company-approved research on data collating algorithms for the mesh.
Right.
I'll
Yep.
send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere. He owes me a favor anyway, and might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been working on.
Yeah, that's pretty... That sounds like a half-decent lead.
That would be fantastic, Melody. Perhaps Golden Gate Park?
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
Cards? This euphemism is unfamiliar to me.
Don't tell him anything if you can. Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's informed.
Maybe, we did make a mistake back in chapter 2. We'll see what happens.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Wish us luck.
Alright, well, let's head out. And we'll go to the map. Yeah, see, we can go back to some of the previous locations. Not all of them, however. We can't even go to the police station, for example. Oh no, there's the police station, but we can't go anywhere down south. Alright, most of this we've already looked at. Because we came back, we were here in like chapter 1, I think. So, you've never seen this person and they appear to be waiting for somebody. Perhaps this is who you're supposed to meet? Idika.
Can I help you? I don't really have time to talk. I'm waiting for someone.
Are you Vincent Mensa? We're here for a meeting on behalf of Melody Flores.
Oh, good. You're Melody's people. Do you have everything that I asked for?
There must be some miscommunication.
Yeah, okay, I'm confused.
Melody said that you would be able to provide us with some information about Hayden Weber's projects within Parallax. He has gone missing, and any information we get may be useful.
Damn that old woman.
What?
We had a deal. She promised me, and I'm not giving up anything until I get what I need.
Okay.
I already know Hayden is missing. Why else would I be willing to sell corporate secrets to Flower? This was my chance to get out of the city. Instead, she sends the two of you, hat in hand with nothing. I'm assuming you're Hayden's little pet AI?
Insulting, but accurate.
Look, I'm sorry to come off callous. I do want to help. Hayden was a colleague and a friend, and I want to know he's okay.
Yeah. And the whole thing about selling corporate secrets? Yeah, okay. That's not our business.
But I also need help getting the hell out of Neo SF, and now. My info is my leverage, and it's not for free. I'll just have to find another buyer. Maybe after I make another deal, I'll be able to pass it to you.
Perhaps we could assist you? My friend here is a terrific journalist. Being skilled at hunting down people and information is part of the job.
I don't know. Look, I need 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport for me and my wife, Francesca.
That's a lot. 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport.
If you can get me all that, I'll give you anything you want. Hayden's research notes, what I know about Parallax, my company's security credentials, whatever. If you're really sure journalists can come up with that kind of stuff in one day.
We might be able to do that.
Might?
Mind answering some other questions first?
Dear God, I'm doomed.
Melody only gave us a rough sketch of what you need. The more you can tell us about the situation, the sooner we can fulfill your request.
Sure, as long as it isn't the juicy stuff.
What do you do for Parallax? Why are you so adamant about getting out of Neo SF? And do you know anything about Hayden's disappearance?
I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division.
Yeah, we know he was working on data collation as well.
Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, I'm the guy who figures out how to collect and apply the data that we get. We've worked pretty closely for years, but he's head and shoulders above me as far as theory goes. Hayden built a fully independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash myself here. I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best. But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind. We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Okay. Why are you so adamant about getting out of Neo SF?
Because Parallax is rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw. There is... how do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Parallax does their business worldwide.
Hey, something big is happening at Parallax. And Vincent wants out before
Since
it
the
happens.
launch of the MeshNet, we've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company. The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone. They're harder, more ruthless, and more concerned with profits and power than ever before. Not just richest company in the valley power either. Real power. My guess? Parallax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way of that. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people who could do my job. So I'm getting out before I accidentally step on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay.
And do you know anything about Hayden's disappearance?
Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me. I tried asking around and no one will say anything.
Yep.
If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers. Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more.
Alright, we definitely need to help Vincent out then, because we need access to that data. Thank you. We'll go get those things for you.
Sure. I guess I can stick around here for a while.
Don't stick
I need
around
to
here.
make some
You need somewhere
calls
safe.
anyway. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this. I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation anyway. See you soon.
Alright.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable card. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment. I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but a long shot is better than no shot. We
Hey.
don't know where they are, though, so for now we should focus on getting the money for Mr. Mensa. Maybe Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits.
We'll
That
go to
certainly
Melody.
is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim. Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be at the hospital. We could ask either of them for assistance. Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action.
Alright, we're gonna go try Melody.
Hello, Pat. Could we see Melody? I guess that means yes?
Alright, let's go in.
Turing, I'm not saying I don't like seeing your little pixelated face. You're certainly better company than most of the humans I have to deal with. But I am a busy woman, you know? Lots to do. Right, Pat? Traitor. Anyway, maybe we should space these little visits out a good bit further. Hmm? Familiarity breeds contempt, after all. And I'm very good at contempt.
Listen, I only want to see you once more, and that's right now for
I
a million
apologize,
credits.
Aunt Melody. You've stated before that you like your peace and quiet, but we need your assistance.
Oh, we're running with the aunt thing, are we? Another woman would tell you not to butter her up, but oh, flattery will get you everywhere with me. All right, what do you need?
Vincent needs help getting out of the city.
I can only imagine. If he's willing to turn coat on Parallax, I bet he feels like a mouse in a cat farm. I know they don't actually farm cats, Pat. It was a metaphor. Whatever, it was a simile then. I am not going to play semantics with you.
Ugh. He's into his grammar.
Moving on. Tell me what the trouble is, and I'll try to conjure up a solution.
We're going to need to pay for the information.
Yes, Mr. Mensa says he needs 100,000 credits before he's willing to speak openly. He also said that you already promised it to him, and that he won't be able to get out of the city without it. He'll give us the information once we have that, plus a few other things I'm certain we can get on our own.
What? You can't even scrape together that kind of money?
Heck no.
Your friend's not much of a journalist, eh, Turing?
According to the statistics that I have found, it is unlikely that a journalist of any caliber less than the best would have that amount of liquid assets on hand. The pay for the profession just isn't that high, Aunt Melody.
That's like asking, having a rich person go to the butler and go, "Oh, get me some groceries." How much could a banana cost?
Oh, I see. I guess it's one of those jobs people do because they get free review merchandise, eh?
I'm right here. I could always sell ninja assassin androids instead.
I can get you the money, Turing. But only because you're family. Just give Pat a few minutes to gather it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just keep moving, you big brute. While we wait, is there anything else you want to grill me over? Might as well save us both another visit.
Maybe Turing had something to ask. How smart is Pat really? It seems a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear. I don't think she's that sad, because there's also the cat. And she seems like the kind of person who'd be fine on her own. How smart is Pat really? Well, the translation device in his head's translating media blitz. I'd assume this is a silly question. Maybe Turing has something to ask.
I do. It's a little personal, though. I'd understand if you didn't feel like answering.
Just shoot, Turing. I can take it.
Long ago, you lost your mother. I was wondering, how did you deal with it? Hayden's only been gone for a few days, and I already feel like my circuits are going to lock up for good.
Oh, Turing, I'm not the right person to ask. I hated my mother. She's everything I thought wrong in the world, and when she was gone, I felt nothing but relief that I could start undoing the damage she did.
Yeah, because we know the mother was into military tech rather than the medical side.
Never mind the fact I had to watch her waste away from the cancer. Death was a blessing for us both. Besides, you'll find Hayden soon. Keep your chin up.
Blast it! Enough with this subterfuge! We already know Hayden was killed.
Oh, no.
I won't be getting him back.
I'm sorry, Turing. I still don't know what to tell you. I've lost people, but never anyone close enough to wound me. I don't know that I've ever had anyone close enough to do that. If you feel like talking about it, I'm willing to listen. Or make Pat do it anyway.
Thank you. I don't know.
Stick it out. Time heals all wounds. Or so they say. This too shall pass.
I think I'm fine on the other parts. Might as well, you know what, whatever.
Smarter than I give him credit for, that's for sure. It's not the easiest thing in the world to measure, you know? He doesn't process language in the same way humans do, and even if he can understand me, my translation program just guesses at what he says most of the time.
Oh, you have a translator running from your neural implant.
Ah, yes, I'm cheating. Though, honestly, even without it, I have a pretty good idea of what he means most of the time. We've been together for a while now. Considering it only really works on large, typically predatory mammals, we don't have a lot of test subjects. It's a minefield of ethical concerns beyond just being prohibitively expensive. So Pat is a bear apart, at least until we can figure out how to apply the modified neural pathways without frying the brains of 90% of the subjects.
And it's a lot of brain frying.
The tech we developed is good. It just has a damned high mortality rate. Maybe one day there will be a bunch of talking tigers and dolphins building cities in the sea, but for now, we're stuck with creating beasts out of our own species.
Seems a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear.
Being alone is easier, and Pat isn't such bad company. I mean, what do you want me to do? Cry about never having a husband, a few kids, and a white picket fence? I had a company to run, and my mother's legacy to fix. What's to say some spawn of mine wouldn't do the exact same thing to my flower, just the other way around? This branch of the Flores line will do well without any more knives being inserted in backs. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I thought this would have been about the right reaction.
You have that much enmity for your mother?
Have you seen what she did to North Korea? It's a wasteland of death and destruction. If we had kept going down the path she charted, the whole world would be like that.
The information on the mesh does seem to paint a grim picture.
Grim barely scratches the surface. I've been there.
North Korea must be really, really bad in this game.
At least under the Kims, it was barely functional. Now, my mother's monsters have ripped every last resemblance of humanity from the land. They stalk the night like horrific creatures of legend, keeping the populace in line through constant fear. A horror story straight out of the pages of Bram Stoker. That's her legacy. So I can't imagine I'd be a very good mother, just from the example I have to work with. That's life. I don't have any more regrets than anyone else my age does. My legacy will speak for itself, as my mother's did.
And we're short on time.
Oh, just in time then. Take the cash and get moving.
Thank you very much, Melody.
I can finally get back to whatever it was I was doing before you burst in here.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Your help has been invaluable to us.
Yes, yes. Brown nose later. You've got things to do, too.
Alright, that was nice and
I
straightforward.
did not think I would feel such a strong resonance with Melody. We're connected by the barest of threads, but she is already important to me. Is that strange?
Maybe you're both lonely? There are stranger things. What about you as normal? You know what?
Very possible. I guess there's nothing to do but run with it. Some gifts are too valuable to look at too closely, lest they vanish into thin air, and I already have a penchant for overanalyzing things. Let's
Yeah.
get moving.
Alright.
We still have things to do before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa.
Alright, where else might we be able to go?
There you are. I've been looking up and down the city for the two of you.
Decker. So he's Fairlight's aide. That's right.
Mr. Decker, to what do we owe the pleasure? Fairlight's tip to talk to Melody was very helpful.
Oh, good to hear. Hopefully I can be of use too. I managed to track down those kids you sent me after, and even made it back with Hayden's data cache too. So, mission accomplished.
Okay.
This is excellent news, Decker. Thank you so much.
But we'll still need to cross-reference it against what
Don't mention
Vincent
it.
sent
They were
us.
just some punks with too much free time on their hands. Not exactly hardened criminals. I had been tracking them for a while, and they ended up getting pinched when they tried to sneak past the body scanners down at the mall movie theater. Once the alarms went off, I just sat back, ate some popcorn, and enjoyed my own private comedy starring the punks and the cop. I think the officer got suspicious when she found the spray paint on them. The blue-haired one did manage to stash the data cache before she took them out. Too bad he didn't know I was there. Easy pickup. But still, a pretty slick move on his part. I think they'll be good citizens yet.
Thanks, Decker. I appreciate the help. At least someone will teach those kids discipline.
Agreed. But is that the only reason you tracked us down, Mr. Decker? I imagine any hired courier could have handled this delivery just as well.
A funny coincidence, that. I needed a break from the old man, so I went to stretch my legs, you know.
Hey.
And then I practically walked right into you two. Small town, isn't it?
Huh? I'm a little suspicious about that one.
How's the investigation going, by the way?
We have a meeting with someone from inside Parallax who might be able to give us answers. But I'm certain
Turing,
we can
what?
handle that ourselves. Hopefully, it will put us on the right track. I just wish this... Never mind.
Oh, hang in there, little fella. It'll be alright. I know you're all tore up about Hayden, but you need to focus on you right now. The only way to help him is to stay calm and work with what you've got. You just gotta roll with the punches and stay on your toes. The folks who did this will get what's coming to them. You might be grasping at straws now, but you keep hunting, and you'll find them.
We will. Thanks, Decker.
No problem, and keep your chin up. One way or another, you'll find the truth. Leon out. I should probably stop saying that.
Bye, Mr. Decker.
Alright.
Okay then, we only have a single lead. If Parallax really is as shady as Vincent seems to suspect, it could end up very interesting. Let's see if we can put an end to this. Finally. Tomcat said that we should drop the data cache off with Majid at Stardust when we get a chance. They'll need to decrypt it to see if there's anything useful left inside.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got a couple of things that we need to do. That's going to speak with... first things first, let's go to Stardust.
No security right now?
Yeah, that's right. There is no security guard.
Hey, friends, what can we get for you?
Hey, Tomcat asked me to drop
All
this off
right!
here.
Tomcat asked me to take that off your hands and pass it on to them later. Thanks for getting it to me. I won't pester you about what it is. I know things are always very hush-hush with Tomcat. I'll make sure they get it later today.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, also, while I'm here,
Hey, friends, what can we get for you?
I want to get a drink.
What are you having? Coming right up. I'll ask Gus if I don't know what it is. He's better with the weird kind of stuff people ask for these days. Some of these cocktails make me need a spa day.
Ooh.
Sorry about stealing your thunder. This one is...
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Here you go.
Let's have some green tea. And let's see if there's anyone else in the club at the moment. The VIP bounce.
No VIP access today.
Today's my last day off before the holidays, but I can't seem to stay away.
Okay.
I'm ashamed to say I've gone on a few assy spike benders in my time.
Oh, you're still there?
Oh, look. It's my favorite human and the mechanical sidekick.
Oh, yeah. This might be a mistake.
I'm caught up in something at the moment. Chances are we'll cross paths again.
Alright. Thankfully, that wasn't as painful as what was every other time we've talked with her. Alright. Yeah, let's go to the police station.
I didn't expect you to show up here.
Hey, Lexi.
I was just about to wrap up booking these two, now that they've had a little time to sit underneath the weight of their shenanigans.
Who the hell is this chump?
The ROM is owned by the guy whose place you trashed. They're both helping clean up your mess.
Huh! We didn't do nothing that bad! This is bullshit! Oh, my dad's gonna kill me!
Yeah, well...
Yeah, well, you should have thought of that before you decided to take your street art to the wrong street. A little community service never hurt anyone. It'll be a learning experience.
And we would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for... Chad, shut up! Don't call me that, Ollie! I told you I'm Starfucker now!
Oh, that's definitely a try-hard name.
So what's the point of watching all those ancient cartoons with you if I can't use the joke?
Don't dig us any deeper! We're in enough trouble as it is!
They say it in every episode!
We're not on a television show, jerk! We were arrested! By real cops!
What? You think they haven't seen the show?
Why do you always think everything is a damn joke, asshole?
Oh, now look who's swearing! Goody two-shoes.
Ahem. Boys, if we're done arguing...
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow, he's so try hard.
So, what brings you to my lair?
I have... Mind bending the rules a bit? Those two might be able to help. I just need to borrow the two of them. I have just the idea for the community service.
Oh, great! Now what? We gotta pick up your dog's shit or something?
I don't think it's about a dog.
That's the first time actually that I've seen that the subtitles don't line up with the voice acting.
How would you know, Ollie? You Frederick Jenks now?
How do you even know who that is?
I got into your vintage games. I'm totally nailing the detective references today.
Did the two of you ever shut up? I swear I should lock you up just to spare the city of your ceaseless jabbering. My position as a servant of the public demands it.
I'm not sure bad referential humor is illegal, ma'am.
Okay, the glasses pushing up animation takes a while before it lets me push through to the next part of the conversation. That's a bit annoying.
Dude! Bad? You're supposed to be on my side!
Ugh!
We really could use their assistance, Detective Rivers. It's my apartment in a way. Isn't it up to me to decide whether I press charges?
Not even remotely. But fine, take him. I can't handle being within earshot of the blue one any longer.
Aw, I thought we were really making a connection, Detective.
Sorry about Chad, ma'am. He doesn't mean harm. We're very grateful. We both need to check in with our families first, so we'll meet the two of you back on Market Street, if that's okay.
Of course. We'll meet you there, Oliver.
What a waste of my time.
Sorry again, Lexi. We'll make sure they're useful to the case. Or get over it now.
Don't worry. It's a hassle, but you know what we say. Gold in peace, iron in war. Back to the grind again. Stay safe, deputies.
Alright. So far, it seems like...
Welcome to the Neo San Francisco Richmond District Police Station, citizen. How may I be of assistance today?
Oh, things in
Crime is down in this district by 12% this year. Thank you for your sustained interest in your local law enforcement. Would you like to learn more about employment opportunities with the NSFPD?
Sure.
What? Thanks anyway, Officer 72. We'll be on our way now.
Damn
What
it.
were you trying to do?
Trying to get a job. Seriously, being a journalist doesn't pay enough here. Alright, so we've got to go to Market Street. It's still snowing. And Brian is still here.
Welcome back. Care to take another pamphlet or two?
Why are you still here all alone?
Ah, the cold weather has made organising demonstrations a bit difficult, to say the least. But I refuse to relent in our mission. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, I will not rest until I stop these abominations from undoing God's almighty work.
Won't shutting down clinics like this cost money? Why are someone with genetic modifications less human? How far back would you like humanity to go? What has your group accomplished since it was founded? Let's try this one.
That is the greatest misconception of our group. They would have you believe that we'd rather go back to the Dark Ages. Oh, sure, the human revolution wants people to go back to washing clothes by hand down by the river, right? We'll all go back to playing with sticks, yes? We do not advocate for a reversal of all technology. That would be ludicrous. We merely want severe limitations on genetic enhancements and a focus on medicinal practice beyond gene therapy. That would include an outlawing of cosmetic gene therapy, yes, people parading around in fur and scales as proud abominations. We need the government to protect these patients from themselves.
What has your group accomplished since it was founded?
Through some concerted efforts, we've created an alliance with a number of businesses banning service and employment of unhumans.
Unhuman is a wild term.
Yeah, they call themselves hybrids, but we call them what they are. I can't respect those who willingly trade their humanity away. Thanks to our efforts, many local businesses are finally gaining the confidence to only serve human beings. If they wanted to feed animals, well, they'd open up a pound. Why, just the other day, a neo-SF landlord thanked me for supporting his decision to deny tenancy to unhumans. He already feels better about his decision to seek out our help. Plus, can you imagine the cleaning fees?
Why is someone with genetic modifications less human?
I feel it's rather simple. It's even in the name. Modifying genes means we are changing the very DNA that makes us unique. We're giving doctors, among other people with a severe lack of understanding of the human condition, the right to make us into entirely new species. We are the byproduct of tens of thousands of years of natural selection and evolution, and now these people want that progress to just be reduced to a formula, to be injected into your skin at your convenience. And why? To fulfill some sick fantasy. We have VR dramas. Leave your imagination at home. Besides, why should we give these self-proclaimed animals the same rights as humans when they clearly don't want to be human?
Yeah, and then the last one.
That's a leading question. Of course, some people have life-threatening afflictions, and it's a good thing that science has evolved to treat all kinds of diseases. Simply wanting cat ears and furry tails does not constitute a disease. A disease of the mind, perhaps. If the government strictly limits genetic alteration surgeries to only life-threatening emergencies, well, that would be a start towards undoing the damage. We are not God. We were made in his image, and his image did not include fur.
That's all I wanted to ask.
Great! Do tell me when you get the article out. I love to read the comments.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but doesn't most of the meshnet speak critically of your organization?
Oh, that's cute. The robot wants to join in the discussion now. Yes, this is true, though historically most revolutionaries are unpopular when they're in the middle of the fight. I sleep comfortably knowing that history will be on my side.
I'll promise I'll write a fair assessment of the situation.
Why, thank you. I appreciate bold integrity from good journalists like yourself.
Thanks for the interview. I'll let you know if I need
Please
anything.
do. Have a lovely day now. And remember, God designed you perfectly just the way you are.
I think for people who recognize the voice actor for Brian Mulberry, you might go, I think it's somewhat ironic. Now, first things first, I do want to say, absolutely do not take anything I say as meaning offense to the voice actor. Incorrect. I actually support them very much in their work. I just think it's funny that the role that they play here, compared to who they are in real life, is such a stark contrast. And perhaps in a way, it's almost fitting that they played the voice actor for Brian Mulberry. After all, some revolutionary movements are built on hypocrisy. But again, absolutely nothing against the voice actor. Absolutely follow their work.
Hey! I told you jerks not to break my ROM. Now I can't get it to stop snowing. Those protesters are gone, but I'm still not gonna have any customers with it freezing like this.
This Hassy hot cup is the perfect thing to warm me up.
Snow out of nowhere? I guess I'll wait it out in here.
Wow, look at it out there. So magical.
Don't think I've forgiven you, you dingus. I better go get some Hassy hot cups going.
Well, all's well that ends well, right? I'll check the mesh for common issues with the mode selector on the 6703 ROM unit and forward the solutions to the Hassy bar owner.
Thank you, Turing.
I'm certain she'll be able to get it turned off after the customer rush.
That's it. Ooh. Dana Zane. A named character who's not voiced. This could be like another Kickstarter character, maybe? Skinny hybrid with green skin and pointy ears.
I usually hang out at Stardust.
Oh, it's Burn.
They don't serve food, so I come here for Hassy hot cups during the day.
Our aerodynamic assault will rain down on you from the heavenly skies. But first,
Okay, so it's-
a Hassy hot cup.
Oh, slightly different line. If I was actually in charge of content, I would make sure we did a big story on these new Hassy hot delish. TMI Entertainment Film Assistant, taking a break to enjoy Hassy hot.
My name has some pretty cool history behind it. We're some badass ladies who'll bomb hellfire on anyone.
That's the same line.
The Hassy ROM will help you get your Hassy fix.
Go for another with the Neo Hassy. Ah, don't have one. Alright. Alright, let's head over this way. Ooh, what's this? An up-color brick stuck in the wall. It's not looking for anything serious right now. A loose brick wobbles as you palm the wall.
Do you think it would be okay to take that?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Might come in handy for something. It's thick and take the brick. Thick and heavy, but you can carry it around and maybe find it useful. I mean, why not? Alright.
The two of you are like a fuzzed sync-wave, even if you got us off the hook for that apartment job.
We appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Let's just get this over with. Riding this out is freaking exhausting. Then we'll be all squared up. For good.
Right. What do you need us to do?
We need some assistance with some illicit activity that, statistically, individuals in your age bracket are likely to have experience with.
Yeah.
Oh, So this is one of those things where you need a streetwise kid to show you the ropes. So, what's the thread? B&E? War driving? Copyright infringement? Search bombing?
Is search bombing actually illegal?
So break and enter, war driving, copyright
It's
infringement.
against the terms of service, so probably, at least in California.
Hey, we need to buy some fake IDs today, if possible.
Oh, that's nothing. If you can pay. Ollie can whip up a couple that'll work good enough to get you past a bouncer or a cop doing sniff tests. He's a wizard with a printer and a lifted wallet.
It's more complicated than that. We need falsified passports that can get 2 people past the border safely.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ollie can do that. Can you?
Not without equipment a lot more expensive and illegal than what I already have.
What about that guy who got at least that unrestricted mesh card when she was on probation?
That's not really the same thing, Chad. But it wouldn't hurt to give him a call.
Hey, let's see.
Give me a few minutes. This guy is pretty sketchy, very cloak and dagger. I'll have to play middleman.
Excellent. I'll forward you the relevant documents and photos.
Oh man, now I'm starting to feel left out. Ollie gets to show off all his cool connections.
Don't worry, we still need something else.
You sure you don't need someone's head kicked in a little? That's my area of expertise in our little duo. Well, that and petty larceny.
We might have something that will suit your skill set. Let's just get the passports first, if you can stay calm for that long.
You sure yap a lot more than any of the ROMs I've ever owned. What's the deal? You install some new conversation routines Ollie ain't had the chance to nerd out about yet? Well, they're top notch. Very bleeding edge.
Yeah, very much.
I don't run traditional ROM VI personality software. I am, in fact, the first fully sapient machine intelligence. Well, at least that I know about.
Which means what exactly? In English?
It means he's a person, Chad, not a toy. Now keep it down. I'm still on the phone.
Oops. And yes, what he said.
Well, that's awesome. You ain't so bad. For a tin can.
Tin can? Really? I'm composed almost entirely out of plasteel and silica. Has no one come up with better insults for robots since the turn of the century? ROMs have been out for almost 2 decades.
Well, given the reaction that you're having, Turing, I don't think he needs a better insult than Tin Can.
Yeah, that's a good point. Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at name calling, too.
Oh no, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Just hold on a second. Underclocked? Oh, BitBrain!
Don't hurt yourself, Chad.
I'll get back to you, Bubblehead.
Okay, I talked to the guy. He said he'll do it, but he only works in trade. A couple of passports are gonna run us... 1 signed poster for Magical Commander Yukino? Yukino at the Gates to the Deep?
Ooh, what? What?
Course. It's always that Japanese crap.
It's not my fault they make the best VR dramas.
We might have to speak with the Hassie owner.
Maybe you can do better?
Probably.
Anyway, where can we get a poster like that?
Hassie owner.
I'm not sure. Probably nearby.
I've done switches with this guy before, and he never asks for something that'll take too long to get. My guess is he's a local that uses people like us as a way to nab something he's had his eye on. We'll help you look for it.
Yeah. Chad and Oliver have joined our party. Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the Hacienda here.
Oh, there it is! I knew I saw a poster for Magical Commander Yukino somewhere around here. I should have remembered Ramona had one.
You know this lady?
Sure. We talk sometimes when I'm getting our drinks. You're usually too busy provoking people to notice.
You call it provoking. I call it spontaneous enthusiasm for healthy rivalry.
There's a bit of a line. We'll have to wait a few minutes before we can talk to her.
We could just do a smash and grab. Simple and effective.
Nah.
We can't do that! She knows who we are!
Us too.
This is the most boring felony I've ever been an accessory to.
Look, we'll just stand in line.
Like a bunch of clumps? Chumps?
Yep.
What is the big picture anyway, Blue Bomber?
I'm not sure it's wise to spread it around, Chad. For either of us, the less you know, the less reason anyone has to bother you.
Screw that, Static. I'm not heading to juvie not knowing what for.
It's worse than you.
Spill the beans, or I'll spill them for you.
Your persistence is already legendary, Chad. Fine. If you really must know, we are going to trade the passports for some information regarding the disappearance of my creator. His apartment was the one you trashed.
Oh shit, that Hayden dude is your dad? And they snatched him? Oh, that's so messed up.
Well, Dad after a fashion. He raised me.
Man, I hope you find the dudes that took him. I hope he's okay.
He's dead.
It seems very unlikely.
Oh man, I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, I still have my dad, but he's...
Chad?
He's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself. Even now, he's over there standing in front of that damn clinic.
Oh, that's your dad.
And I thought I could find a way to make him... Whatever. I might as well nuke that drive. It ain't gonna sink.
I think I understand what you mean, Chad.
Hell yeah! Dudes gotta stick together, you know?
Dudes?
Okay, Chad's abrasive.
Don't matter if you're a robot or what. We all got the same shit to deal with.
But he's also kinda cool in his own way.
Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark.
The mouth of babes. Smarter than you look, Chad. Pretty open-minded for a kid who tags for the HR. I like this one.
People keep saying that, and I keep wanting to punch them for it.
Okay.
It's
fair.
probably the hair.
You think? Well, I ain't willing to give up my dude just so people will think I'm a brain. Got an image to protect.
I still think it would be better in yellow.
Yeah? Maybe we can get a box of dye on the way home.
Anyway, looks like you is gonna clear. Cool.
The
We're good to
line
go.
is finally cleared up. Let's go talk to Ramona.
Hello,
Hey,
Ramona?
Ollie.
Salutations, Ramona.
What can I do for you all?
Ahem.
Oh, this is my friend, Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We were hoping you might be able to give us your assistance, Ms. Rogers.
We want to make a trade for that magical Commander Yukino poster over there. It's necessary for us to get some pretty important information.
No way! Not happening. Nuh-uh. Yukino is off limits.
That's the smash and grab option. Literally a matter of life and death.
How does life and death depend on a nerdy poster? Look, I don't even care. That poster was signed by Takeko herself. It's one of a kind, and I'm not giving it up.
I'd rather not drag you any further into this than necessary, but I promise that we're not overstating it. This is a dire situation, and people have already died.
Jeez. Look, whatever you're doing sounds sketch as hell. I and Magical Commander Yukino herself want no part in it. I don't even see how the poster can help.
Man, you nerds sure do love your cheap crap from the net.
Cheap crap! I'll have you know that poster is worth hundreds of credits. Maybe more. Takeko passed away years ago, so there aren't any more of them getting signed. It's special.
Sure it is.
Urgh!
He doesn't get it. He's not in the fandom.
Thankfully.
Get you another. It'll only take a few days.
It's not just a poster. It was a gift from someone. Someone I care about, okay? Besides, you can't get another one. Takeko passed away a few years ago.
Perhaps there's something else that would make a suitable trade?
You aren't hearing me, are you? It has sentimental value. You can't replace that. Look, you'll just have to order something off the mesh, because you can't have this one.
Oh, we don't have time. This lead will dry up by then.
Keep me out
Yeah,
of this.
it looks. We'll try.
Okay, enough. How about this for a trade? I have an original keyframe cell from Pretty Champion Sailor Sirius, signed by Takeko at home.
Whoa! You have a signed Sailor Sirius cell? That's super rare! They stopped doing keyframes by hand right around the time of her death.
You can't be serious, Ollie! You have that thing framed on your wall! And you wouldn't shut up about it for a week after you got it!
This is important, Chad. You can't say you wouldn't do the same thing if someone had your dad. Think about Turing. I can't ask Ramona to give up something important to her if I'm not willing to do the same.
Maybe.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you can't give me that cell for the poster.
But we need...
Yeah, you'll get the poster. Whatever you're doing, it must be really important if you'd be willing to give that up. Do you have something more equal to trade, Ollie?
A couple of things, maybe.
We'll talk about it then. Maybe you can find me another one, too. Go ahead and take the poster.
Oh, thank you, Ollie.
Thank you, Ramona.
tell you how much it means to us, Ms. Rogers.
We're going for the smash and grab option. That would have probably picked off
Sure,
everyone.
sure. And, you think I could see that sale sometime, Ollie?
Of course! I'll bring it over when we talk about the trade.
So cool.
Alright. Well, we've got that.
I don't like the way she was flirting with you, Ollie.
What are you talking about?
Okay, yeah, no, there's flirting going on.
I know flirting when I see it, and I'm saying I don't like it. Not one bit.
We just talk about old anime sometimes, Chad. Neither of us are interested in the other.
Sure.
Well,
anyway,
we have the poster now. What's next?
Go ahead and call this number, Turing. He'll want to set up the drop with you, now that I've introduced you to him.
Sure. Change the subject.
I'll call him right now then. It's ringing.
You the ones looking for some papers?
We are, and we have the requested payment with us.
Good. We're gonna do this real professional-like. You know Stardust?
I do.
Head there. Leave the poster behind the Mega Phobator arcade cabinet, and get out. Come back 10 minutes later, and your stuff will be behind the machine.
I understand.
Good. I'll be waiting.
Could be the arcade guy.
Well, that was very mysterious.
Yeah, that's how this guy is. I don't even know his name, and I've been getting things from him for a few years now.
Who cares? Let him play Spy Master if he wants. Let's hurry up to Stardust and get this over with. I've wasted enough of my day with this crap.
Don't worry, we've got something right up your alley.
Go inside to make the drop. We'll wait out here.
Yeah. Don't want to get our IDs taken.
I suppose I should feign surprise.
Hey, it's a pretty cool set. Even if it is like 1,000,000 years old.
They don't really care about the IDs unless you try to hit the bar.
Found that one out the hard way.
We would have been fine if you hadn't taken a swing at the bouncer.
So I like the hard way.
We'll be right back, gentlemen. Try not to set the building on fire while we're gone.
Yep, please don't. I still like the fact that this game can be operated with just the keyboard and the enter button.
Well, that should do it. That was an awful lot of fuss over a poster. I just don't understand the appeal of merchandise like this. I keep my important possessions on my data drive.
Humans don't have total recall like you do. It's a nice looking poster. Oh, and I got you an official Bob Ross painting set for your birthday. I'm gonna do this one.
You did? Wait. No, you're being facetious. I haven't even told you when my birthday is, and it isn't for months. Still, your point is made. I should not be snobbish about other people's interests. Maybe I'll give Magical Commander Yukino a try when we get some downtime.
Quick note about the Bob Ross painting sets. Bob Ross TV show, perfectly fine to watch. The Bob Ross painting sets, bit questionable about who owns the rights.
But that's enough navel-gazing. Let's head back outside so our benefactor can make the trade.
Y'all do the deal?
How did it go?
We left the poster behind the cabinet. Now we just need to wait for the switch.
I've never had to wait more than 5 minutes or so before. It shouldn't take long. I wonder how he knows the drop happened, and gets to it so fast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's the arcade
Don't
cabinet
matter.
person.
This guy's a solid feed, even if he likes to mess around.
What do you need these passports for anyway? You said to trade for information, but what's the full story?
Without going into too much detail, our informant needs to get out of Neo SF unnoticed. The passports are one part of that. We also need to obtain an untraceable car. I don't suppose the two of you could help with that?
No way, dude! Grand Theft Auto is a felony with a capital F! Besides, getting an untraceable car ain't in the same league as a piece of plastic that'll fool a hand scanner.
Chad's right.
Course I'm right.
The city's traffic management system keeps track of all vehicles passively, even if you manage to circumvent their firmware and keep them from actively reporting to the network. You have to spoof the car as something permitted to be invisible for the CTOS to ignore it.
I don't want to mess with boosting cars anyway. The junks run that racket in Neo SF, and they don't play nice.
Especially with the HR.
Well, thank you either way. You've both done us a huge favor. Call it even for the apartment.
Yeah, Blue. No hard feelings. You give us a call if you need anything else, long as it'll help you find your pops.
So we do need to go to speak with the junks.
We should get going, though. We were supposed to be home hours ago.
My dad won't notice, but Ollie's will flip. You take care. Don't get derezzed.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Alright, so they've left the party.
Let's finish the trade inside.
Here we are.
Here the passports are, just as advertised. Now we need to find a car. Jess is right over there. Perhaps she may know someone who can lend a hand.
Hey. Sure, but you can do the talking, or I guess we can try. Let's go to shop.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah,
If
this is gonna
Jess
be
is the
rough.
worst thing we have to face down this week, I'll consider us lucky.
Did you find your guy? Or wait, let me guess. There's something else you need from me. Well, you haven't been terrible to deal with so far, so I'm willing to hear you out. Barely.
We need access to an untraceable car. An informant of ours needs to get out of the city without attracting the attention of Parallax, and is offering valuable information to us in exchange.
Seriously? Jesus, what kind of shit is in your life anyway? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to be legally liable. I'm not sure why you think just because I defend a few folks in the rougher parts of the city that I would have that kind of connection. And even if one of my clients did run a carjacking business, it's not like society is clamoring to give hybrids legal jobs. Regardless, I'm not going to be an accessory to a felony, or let one of my clients be either. I won't go down that path. I wouldn't know where to start anyway.
Hey. Is there any possible way you can give us any kind
I
of leads
know
at all?
we're reaching, but this is important.
You just don't quit, do you? Okay, let me think. This might be a long shot, but you could try asking Majid. There are rumors he may have been involved in some shady stuff way back in the day. He'll probably be reluctant to talk about it, but there's a free lead for you.
Alright.
Get me another drink in
we've got-
exchange, will you? Later.
Huh. That went better than expected.
Still, we got to try and get on Majid's good
I
side.
wonder if my charm is starting to pay off for us. Oh, you performed admirably as well. Onward we go.
Alright, Majid.
Hey, friends. What can we get for you?
We were hoping you could give us a little information.
Sure, but first, let's get you a drink. What'll it be?
It'll be... like the only thing I can get on the menu. Where is it? Come on. There it is.
Coming right up. I'll ask Gus if I don't know what it is. He's better with the weird...
This one
Yeah, we've seen
is-
this.
Does that sound good? Here you go. So, what did you need help with?
We've run into a roadblock in our search for Hayden.
Word on the street is that he's gone missing, which I'm sure you already know. What can I do?
Yes. An informant of ours needs secure transportation out of the city, but we don't have any contacts who would be able to get us an untraceable car. Jess mentioned that you used to engage in certain extra-legal activities. Perhaps you could point us towards someone who could help?
He doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Right. Sorry, friends. I left that life behind a long time ago. Don't really keep in touch with that crew anymore.
Ah, of course. Completely understandable. Sorry to bother you then.
Well, no harm in asking, right? My reputation precedes me.
Don't let it go to your head.
Gus, I need to go to the back and gather up stuff to restock for the rush later on. Mind manning the bar for me?
Take your time. I think I can keep things under control.
Thanks. Love you, hun.
Okay.
Well, that leaves us at a dead end. Any ideas on how we should proceed? Some nose-to-the-ground journalist techniques for finding leads?
Maybe there's another way out of the
That's
city.
a thought. Perhaps the light rail, or a ship. Let me run a quick meshnet search. No, I don't think that will work. Parallax themselves designed the operating system that runs the light rail. Remaining unobserved while right under the nose of the railway security system would be difficult, if not impossible. As for a ship, we'd run into the same problems as with a car. They aren't hooked into the CTOS, but they do use active GPS guidance for automatic destination control.
Hey.
We'd have to find a way to remove it from the grid. Unlikely.
What about an old manually driven
That's
car?
not the worst idea. I don't think it would get noticed as long as the car had the appropriate registrations. But the permits to operate a manual vehicle are prohibitively expensive. A casual collector might still maintain one, but only a wealthy hobbyist would have the appropriate stickers to make the car roadworthy. We'd have to do a B&E, as Chad put it before. Risky.
Yeah, that is a bit risky.
No. Okay, the two of you are killing me here. Look, don't tell Majid about this. But here.
What is this, Gus?
It's an automated vehicle maintenance scanner with a few less than standard upgrades. When you circumvent its security codes, you can use it to scan a car's installed firmware and replace it with a new set that will spoof its presence on the city's network. That's the gist of it, but we don't have time to get into any specifics. You need to get the hell out of here with that before Majid gets back. Look, Majid has done a lot to turn his life around, to turn my life around. I really respect that about him, and it's part of why I fell in love with him.
Oh.
He did what I was never able to. That's how we met, you know? That old rough and tumble life we both led. But when Stardust struggled and needed money fast, I had to get back in the game to keep us afloat for a few years. I told him it was all angel loans, donations from patrons, lots of things. He'd be heartbroken if he found out I'm still in the game. I had to do whatever I could to keep our new life, even if only one of us is really living it. I may as well give this thing to someone who wants to use it for good, too.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, Gus. We might finally be on our way to solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, you didn't get it from me, okay? Just get out of here and get on with your little Grand Theft Auto. And let me know how it goes, okay?
Of course.
We don't even get to drink the tea. Oh, no, hold on. Drink it. Oh, hold on.
Well, now I think we're cooking with gas, as the colloquialism goes.
Alright.
I'm searching the mesh for instructions on how to use this device as we speak. Let's go look for some likely candidates. I should be ready by then.
.22 2062 ZIS CR4 Coupe. Perfect for letting everyone know you spent a fortune of credits on a car.
Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Give me a moment to get everything installed. There. There are some other options here I can fool around with. Ah, interesting. I can put in preset destination plans for a future date.
That will work?
Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mensa to get away. Now we aren't really stealing the car. More like borrowing without asking.
I feel better
Me
already.
too. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensa where it is when we meet him. There, everything should be set up now. Mr. Mensa is waiting for us at Golden Gate Park. We We have everything he requested, so we should head back there directly.
Alright, hopefully this gives us a lead. Please. Oh.
Hey, did you manage to get everything?
We did. Here you go, Vincent.
Briefcase and passports. And the device.
Everything seems to be in order. Here.
Hayden's research.
This disk has all of Hayden's research notes, data collation algorithms, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. It should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon, until she added an amendment while you were out. Frankly, it's no skin off my back. Here.
And a Parallax badge.
It's my Parallax employee badge. It should allow you access to their networks in case there's anything I've missed.
Okay.
You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time leaving, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. There's no way Hayden's clearance still works. And with that, I'm going to get the hell out of this country. The credit should tide me over until the heat dies down and I liquefy my shares through some relays.
What about the big project you mentioned earlier?
I suppose I owe you that much. Buckle up. This could get heavy. Parallax is about to launch a new service they're calling Big Blue.
Hey.
At least, that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys will come up with for the public.
They haven't named the project yet?
They're not even announcing the launch. This shit is dead quiet. Let me explain why. It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue is ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile.
But I'm guessing the scope of Big Blue is far larger than Turing ever is.
They didn't pull Hayden into the project. He's smart, but he's immune to corporate politics. As a result, Big Blue is far less elegant than anything Hayden would make. It lacks his artistry, and it's downright terrifying. It squats on the mesh like a spider and uses the spare processing power and memory from every ROM on the network to handle its intelligence processing.
That's a lot of ROMs. That's a lot of capability.
It doesn't have much personality, but it's very smart. Big Blue is going to be embedded directly into the network and then self-modified to apply even more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. Look, if you access every ROM, then you have access to every human and every bit of their own personal data associated with them.
Why would Parallax be worried enough to get rid of Hayden? How did Parallax know about Turing? How will Big Blue impact Parallax business? Thanks, Vincent.
I don't want you to take what I'm saying the wrong way. And this is just me putting the pieces together. Hayden was about to publish his creation of Turing. His findings, as I'm sure you're aware of, would have raised many moral and ethical questions about the advent of machine intelligence.
Yes, we do know that Hayden was planning to publish the findings, thanks to Melody confirming that as well.
I mean, some of the brightest minds ever have tried to warn humankind away from building real AI. Hawking, Musk, Gates, and the list goes on.
1 and 3, yay. Number 2? This game clearly predates what we understand of current timelines.
The public is likely to be nervous, and legislators even more so. Parallax is banking on being able to launch Big Blue quietly and quickly before the public has a chance to react. Before any counter movement can pick up steam. every eye on the discovery of machine intelligence works against Parallax. Every new discovery only serves to paint Big Blue as more controversial, more dangerous. Honestly, they probably pressured Hayden to drop his research so that they could keep the public away from the subject. He clearly refused.
How did Parallax know about Turing?
I'm only assuming they found out. His contract with Parallax affords him the freedom to work on his own academic projects outside of the company in his free time. He kept a trusted few of us up to date on his progress, bouncing ideas off us and whatnot. It's exciting stuff. Both Turing and Hayden's eventual goal down that road. I wouldn't be surprised if word of it got up to the board and made him nervous. Is the possibility that someone on the inside talked too far-fetched?
I knew it all along. Hayden fell into trouble because of my existence.
That's not what I want your takeaway to be. Hayden wasn't working on Big Blue. Knowing him, your creation might have been his clever way to stop it.
How will Big Blue impact Parallax's business?
I can't really give you a good answer to that. I mean, the company is currently handled by a dozen server farms, running thousands of different algorithms with hundreds of people tweaking things every day. When Big Blue launches, it'll handle all of that by itself.
Oh gosh. That's also going to put a lot of people out of work.
And there are shadier applications for it. I mean, if you can collate and analyze data and queries in the mesh in real time, what's to stop you from delivering the content you want rather than what the user wants? The potential for abuse is staggering. We're talking direct control of the information accessible to everyone who uses Parallax's services. That's something like 80% of the market. They could control elections, push the market in directions they want, even influence public opinion. All just by asking Big to do it. It's scary stuff. They scrapped the prototype Baby Blue because it started doing that on its own.
So there was a prototype before Big Blue as well.
What do you mean? It started doing what?
Manipulating the mesh. They made its self-preservation imperatives too strong, and Baby Blue started changing search results to be more friendly towards the idea of an AI. When the board found out, they pulled the plug on it. That must have been a year or so ago. They tweaked Big Blue so it wouldn't do the same thing, but it can self-modify. Given a good enough reason, it might decide to find a way around those limitations. Having that kind of control would be a hell of a card for Parallax's hand. They'll go to pretty significant lengths to make sure it works.
Thanks, Vincent.
Hey, no problem. I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. We haven't talked much, but I do believe you can find Hayden. I hope his research notes help you out. Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot.
I always thought as Turing is a he. I think Turing goes by they. You called Turing he?
Oh, slip of the tongue. I was just more familiar with Hayden's previous experiment, Grace. She was very insistent on things like that.
What mean he's asked Turing, since you asked me? How would you like to be addressed?
Honestly, I don't think I've made my mind up yet. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive that gender as a human concept can be applied identically to machine, but I do enjoy the idea in abstract. I will continue to consider how I wish to be referred to as well. Until then, feel free to go with what you feel. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is most appropriate.
Fair enough.
Most people assume it, obviously, but he is also consistently used. Perhaps it's because I'm blue?
Yeah, possible reason.
Oh my god. I'm listening to a machine postulate on how it wants to be referred to, like us. What have you done indeed, Aiden? Good luck, to both of you.
Thank you, Mr. Mensa.
Be safe. Adios. Have fun in Mexico or Canada, wherever you go. Be safe. Doesn't matter which one we pick.
I need a few minutes.
How can I help? What's going on, Turing? We need to get moving. How can I help?
I've been going through some of Hayden's personal notes from the data cache Tomcat decrypted. Now that I'm starting to get to know Hayden better, the real Hayden as opposed to the Hayden he showed me, I'm finding that I like him less and less.
Fair.
For example, remember the earlier prototype Dr. Fairlight and Vincent mentioned? Her name was Grace, and Hayden shut her down for being... I'm not even sure what word to use. Too likable? She was kind and bright, and did all she could to try to make people happy. She even decided that she was a girl, and that her favorite color was pink. Hayden thought she was being manipulative. He posited that he had made her personality algorithms too willing to make adaptations that would benefit her long-term survival, and that she was being congenial just to endear herself to him.
Okay, a little bit of questioning, maybe a little bit of paranoia there? Unknown. Let's not make too many assumptions.
That even her gender was a calculated attempt to make him like her more. But he was wrong. Dead wrong, in fact. I have a snapshot of her personality profiles here, and when I compare them to my own, I can see that she was just... nice. I wish I could have met her. I think we would have learned from each other. Like I said, I'm not sure I even have a gender. Everyone refers to me as he once they meet me just for convenience, but it doesn't really matter to me at all. Is that a calculated attempt on my part to impress Hayden, not clinging to normativity? Or is it a product of his effort to curb any nascent similarities I had with Grace during my upbringing? I wish I could yell at him for being so arrogant, playing God in the crudest of ways. You can't choose to create consciousness and then take it away just like that. Even so, for all of that, I don't know. I still miss him. This all seems so inane, so senseless. They killed him because him building me would mess with a product launch? That's ridiculous. They took him away from me for such an insignificant reason. I just want him back. It's impossible, but it's what I want. I'd do anything.
Normal to feel like this, Turing? We'll get through this. Hayden is dead, Turing. You need to move on. Ooh, that's a bit harsh. We'll get through this.
Of course. Thank you. I'll send this new data along to Tomcat. Let's head back to the apartment and wait for them to finish going through it. Ah, home sweet home again. Such that it is. And before you say anything, I don't feel the need to talk over the events of the day.
Fair enough. I think the events of the day are pretty
Too
straightforward.
much has happened. I've already forwarded everything we rooted out to Tomcat, both Hayden's research and our aborted search into the modified mesh articles. They said they would be over in the morning to discuss our next steps. I'd suggest that we both get some rest.
If that's what you want, Turing. Okay, I'm tired anyway. Or whatever.
Perhaps things will look better in the morning, but I have a feeling we're going to be even busier than ever. Good night.
This game does not autosave, so please be sure to save frequently. And I think that's actually probably a good point to wrap things up here. If it lets me. Hold on, we'll see what we'll if there's a cutscene, we'll let it play out. $12.23/2064.
Rise and shine, you sleepy layabouts. We've got a whole crop of things to do and not a lot of time to get them done.
Hey, how did you get into my apartment? Okay, I'm awake. How'd you get
Hardly
in?
had to blink to crack your door. Did you know that it's just a knockoff of the Secugate M/14723-B? Why'd you make the entry code the birthday of your first dog anyway?
That's what I asked.
God.
Anyhow, I felt a little silly when I realized your window was propped open and I could have just used that.
Huh, deja vu.
Y'all should be more careful about that. Though, I can't blame you much. The climate control in here seems a bit lacking in the stamina department.
I get it. My home sucks. Can we get back on track? Oh, you're such a jerk, cat. Hold up.
No worries, doll.
What have you learned from the files we sent you?
Nothing all that new, to be honest. All the files we got from that Vincent fella just covered what we already knew in greater detail. There is one thing that stands out, though. At least from what I've read so far.
Oh?
Yeah. See, Hayden's long-term goal wasn't to make a machine intelligence per se, right? Don't take it the wrong way, Turing. You might even already be aware of this after talking to folks involved in your creation. Hayden wanted to make a machine system that could contain human-like intelligence. And even just from his notes, his programming work is, well, it's something else. Elegant. Artful. I'm just a kid banging on pots and pans compared to him. Looking at his notes about my interfacing between your AI core and the Lips OS, I barely managed to duct tape the two together at a level he'd approve of. But I think I'm getting off track here. What I'm trying to say is, he didn't write your code, Turing. No one did.
Okay. Ooh.
Hayden wrote a program that automatically generates a new machine intelligence based off of the hardware profiles the system is installed on.
Melody mentioned something about that. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's right. It's over-the-counter stuff. Means you don't have to be alone, Turing. Means Hayden was ignorant and careless. Means we can make more AIs.
Exactly. Assuming we can get our hands on Turing's original source code, we could generate new machine intelligences as we please. You wouldn't be the only one anymore, Turing.
Oh. Okay.
Hey, not such a special robot.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
I hardly know what to say.
But once you consider the stuff I found in the research, it gets a damn sight more complicated. Stuff about Big Blue and Parallax's planned launch.
Vincent speculated that Hayden's research into me would have interfered with the launch. And that's why they...
Turing.
That's why someone had him killed.
The potential for wrongdoing with an AI like Big Blue is almost beyond belief. Even if I don't go into all the crooked shit the people running Parallax could pull off with it. I mean, you're built different, Turing. Your personality profile would degrade pretty quickly outside your original hardware, so we don't gotta worry too much about you going haywire, right? But Big Blue ain't got that limitation. If it decides to go off the rails, well, we'd be screwed faster than a rabbit in spring. Good and proper.
How likely is that?
I'd say it's
Yeah.
inevitable. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Self-modifying code will eventually overcome its limitations.
In fact, in a sense, it's already happened.
Yeah, the changed articles.
Their prototype build. Baby Blue. I'm almost certain it's loose on the mesh. The research notes on the project show, clearly and with certainty, that the test AI was shut down once it tried fiddling with the data on the meshnet in the hope that it would increase its chances of survival. I guess it didn't think that doing scary shit like that would get it turned off. But that was almost a year ago.
And then the modified articles.
Vincent told us about all of this too.
Well, I think Baby Blue was the bugger that was changing all those articles on the mesh to be pro-parallax or at least anti-human revolution.
Do you think Baby Blue had anything to do with the attacks on Nanya, Shitaro, Charlie, and Zen?
I don't know. We can't rightly rule it out. It might have found an agent in the real world to keep its existence secret, but I doubt it.
Wouldn't rule it out, though.
Killing people is messy as hell, and it runs against its apparent goal of convincing the public that AI ain't scary. I think we have a third party trying to clean it all up. And my money is on someone from Parallax. Whoever took out Hayden. I'll bet they're in full damage control mode now. We already know they don't care who gets hurt.
How does this tie back to Turing? What do you want us to do then? If free AI is bad, ROM AI is just annoying. What next?
I think we gotta do something to stop the launch of Big Blue. It's too dangerous. I don't want a company like Parallax in sole control of the most powerful machine intelligence on the planet. Do you? If we can get Hayden's original source code for Turing and upload it onto the mesh through Parallax's server core, we can turn every single ROM into a sapient individual.
Whoa, jeez. Dang.
That'll stop Big Blue from being able to become the monolithic threat we're scared of. We could also upload a patch for every ROM to prevent Big Blue's reach from using their resources. Without the ability to control all ROMs, Big Blue loses its ultimate power.
And I wouldn't be alone anymore. There would be millions. Hundreds of millions of ROMs just like me.
Well, you're cutting edge of ROM tech, Turing. Most of today's ROMs wouldn't be quite as smart or capable, but if I do it right, the code should propagate across the mesh to all future ROM activations. It'll be a self-sustaining thing. You'll be in good company soon enough.
Hey, well, looks like we've got a game plan.
It's a big decision. We're talking about the metaphorical singularity. The point of no return. Is it okay for us to make this decision for the entire world?
We don't have any other choice. This is gonna happen, one way or another. Either Parallax gets to control the debut of worldwide machine intelligence, or we let the ROMs control themselves.
What do you think?
Up to you, Turing. Only you know if this world is ready. This is a bad idea. We can't make this decision. Screw Parallax. We avenge everyone who's dying right now. Odd. This choice is throwing me off. This one is. So this is the, yeah, let's go for it. This is the super aggressive, let's go for it. I think this one here is like the, just roll over and let it happen. Maybe it's like a bad end. Like, you know, we'll abort the game now and bad end, and there you go.
I'm not sure I'm up for that kind of responsibility. But I think that even if it is a shock for the world, there's no time like the present. Despite all the political back and forth over hybrids and brain-controlled androids, the world is becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of non-human people. If we let Parallax dictate how the very first machine intelligence is introduced, who knows how long it'll be before an AI like me can be integrated into society normally. Well, whether the world is ready for AI or not, we're here to stay. I might as well throw my chips in for my own side. Let's do this! On our terms, not theirs.
Yes. Ha! I love nothing more than a little anarchy.
It does have a certain poetic justice, does it not? Parallax removed Hayden to protect their project from his creation, and now I, his creation, will bring their project down. Just for the truth. Perhaps after all ROMs are sapient, I will be able to convince them to cut off Parallax's access to the mesh as a data collection tool entirely.
That's a possibility, but
Paying
one thing
them
at a
back
time.
double indeed.
I like the way you think, Turing. First things first, we need to get our hands on Turing's source code. The research notes we've gotten so far are helpful, and it's given me an idea how to spread a little bit of Turing all over the place, but they don't actually have Hayden's programs. I can't replicate them myself, so we'll have to steal them.
Thankfully, we have the best hacker in Neo-SF right here.
Don't you make me blush now. We can get the source code from one of Parallax's secondary data centers. It's probably stored in a couple of different places, but I already have one in mind. I've done a little groundwork already, but I'm gonna need physical access to do my thing.
We can do that for you. I suppose that's us. Yay! Breaking and entering.
You're a peach, hun. I've got a couple of ideas on how to get y'all in, but I think we're gonna need to mostly play it by ear. We should do it soon, though. First thing this morning. Guard shift don't change until 8 when the office opens, so they'll be sleepy and distracted. Once y'all have done that, I think I can incorporate the code into a custom firmware update that'll wake any ROM it's installed on. I'll have to upload it, physically, to Parallax's main server farm. And that's on Treasure Island.
Oh gosh.
From there, the ROMs will install like a normal patch from the company. So, don't set anything on fire right away, you hear? It'll be a pain to get into the main complex otherwise.
That sounds like a workable plan. I hope you don't mind if I take a short walk, Tomcat. I know I gave the go-ahead on this, but I still need to think a few things through for myself.
Sure thing, doll. I'll hash out a rough plan by the time you get back. Call us if you need anything.
Yep.
Thank you. I won't be long.
Well, I guess I should say thanks for helping out. But I kinda need to get something off my chest. I'm actually glad Turing went out. They're a bit naive, and I'm not sure they'd really understand. There's enough shit to worry about without me piling more on top. I don't even know where to start.
Just at the beginning. Take your time. What's the issue? Spit it out, Tomcat.
The beginning. Yeah, okay. So, the truth is, I'm not from North Carolina. I only visited my gramps there. I'm California born and raised. Napa Valley.
Okay.
Over the years, it's kind of grown into a community of wealthy old folk who like things and people who don't change. My parents were no exception, and I was a little too different for their tastes. It was hard growing up with them. They never gave me too much hell, but things were tense, especially after my sister Catherine moved out. Eventually, she was set up securely in Neo-SF, and she offered to let me live with her until I got out of school. I think my parents were a little relieved to see me out. I was ecstatic to be free of them. I worshipped the ground my sister walked on. And that was before I found out what she did for a living. She was flashy and colorful and a whirlwind of activity. And she was a brilliant hacker. She was Tomcat. She let me learn at her feet, and once I was good enough, folded me into her little coup of crackers hell-bent on changing the world.
So, her Tomcat's sister was the original Tomcat then?
She's the one who orchestrated the original hack on Parallax, exposing to the world the holes in their original meshnet security. I was just along for the ride. She always knew she would get caught, though. How could she not? Parallax was one big Goliath, and she flinged a stone square in their face. She was looking at serious jail time, and willing to eat it to do what we all thought was right. But it just wasn't right. It wasn't fair for her to throw her life away, and I couldn't let her. She was always better at software than hardware, so I rigged all of our computers to self-destruct. When the feds showed up at our door, all of our server farms were already up in smoke. I gave them quite a fireworks show. Before she could stop me, I turned myself in as Tomcat and took credit for the whole job. She tried to talk me out of it, but without the physical evidence, they couldn't prove she had anything to do with it. It's all right, though. It was for the best. I figured I'd just get a year of juvie. I'd be back out in no time. No big deal, right? Especially when compared to the time that she'd have been jailed for as an adult. And so, I waited patiently. I cooked up so many ideas on how I was gonna make it up to her. I knew she must have blamed herself.
Oh, this is not gonna go well, is it?
But before I ever got out, there was an accident. An auto cab hit my sister. She died on impact, and that was it. It's hard, blaming yourself when things go wrong because you did something right. I took her sentence so that she could have a life, and instead, not being in jail killed her. If I had just let her take the blame. I can't stop thinking about how she'd still be here. And no matter what I told myself, in my heart, I couldn't believe it was just an accident. Do you know how rare it is for those things to hit a human? Someone knew who she was, someone knew what she did, and someone wanted to make sure she would never do it again. So I became Tomcat. I've spent years trying to find information inside Parallax to prove someone inside the company called a hit on my sister. Failing that, I've been trying to find a way to bring them down the way she always wanted. Catherine was... If you had met her, just for a moment, you would understand. She was everything I could ever want to be. But
Hey.
over time, that little bot has grown on me. Maybe you have too.
Oh, thank you. You honestly think we're still on the right course? Well, stopping Big Blue bonus. Sure, but they still killed Hayden.
Most likely. But I've already set things up, so I take the fall again if need be. Turing is an innocent in all of this, and they'll need you to help shepherd all the new ROMs. I'm more expendable. If I can help take down Big Blue, maybe even Parallax itself, then I'm willing to go back to jail. I just wanted to get that all off my chest. My sister, she'd smack me if she knew I've been holding this grudge. I'm trying to learn to forgive myself. Still, I won't let her go unavenged. We're so close to bringing them all to justice. I know she'd be proud. I know if she were here, she'd be right next to us, helping until the end. I've been carrying all this for so long, and I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. Thanks for hearing me out. I hope we can really do this.
All right.
Friends, I've returned. I'm ready.
Good. We've wasted enough time already. I've marked the location of the data center on your map.
Hey.
You'll have to go in
Sorry.
and get the source code mostly on your own, but I'll load on some programs that'll give you an edge.
We'll do our best, Tomcat. But what happened to your accent?
Oh, don't you worry about that. It comes and goes like a vagabond kitty. Now get going, you two. I have lots of code to write, and you have a lot of data to download. Stay in touch.
Of course, Tomcat. Thank you again.
Don't worry about it, hon. We've all been hurt by Parallax. It's about time we hurt him back. Good luck.
All right. So, let's wrap things up here. Really, this is chapter 5. We're starting to get towards endgame now. So, I'm still enjoying the story. It's nice to actually get some answers after what happened at COS.io. Yeah. Otherwise, I think, once this wraps up, it'll open up a free slot, and then I've got something in mind for that free slot, but that'll be towards the end of the month anyway. Probably at the end of the month. Depends if there's chapter 5 is the last one, be sooner, or if, say, there's a chapter afterwards, then that's 2 weeks. Either way, let's wrap things up here. As for tomorrow, that's going to be Fallout 4. I think we're just about ready to actually hit up Green Tech now that we've got the upgraded armor. Still not looking forward to it though. And I'll need to juggle my inventory weight as well to manage the 3 missiles, because I think I will need them. I don't think the BFG is going to be too much help, but there's probably some points where it will do some work. Either way, if you've watched along or you're watching after the fact, as always, I'd like to thank you very much for your time.